Hey FlossTube, Ashley here, Boogie Stitcher on YouTube, Schleesem_Boogie Stitcher on Instagram, coming to you guys with a WIP Parade. So it is the middle of July. I haven't done a video since I announced that I was pregnant. And this is my way of attempting to get my stitching bug back before I give birth. So normally when I am pregnant, I just don't feel good and I just don't ever feel like crafting. So, but I'm seeing everyone's WIP parades and inspiration stitches and it makes me really want to stitch. I just haven't got that bug back yet. So I figured what better way to get that bug back than to look at all of my projects with everybody. I have a lot. I have like 3 bins up here and 2 storage, like under the bed storages down here. So this is going to probably be a multi-video WIP parade. Also, I am pregnant, so if I run out of breath while doing this, or pause to drink a lot of water, sorry. If it's super annoying, I'll try not to do that on camera. Also, I'm not going to be mentioning all of the details of all these projects because I have 80 some odd WIPs and it's just the video would get too long. So if you guys want any information on any of my projects, just leave a comment down below and I would be happy to answer. There's also past videos that you can look at to get any information on new projects, where I got them, collaborations, all that fun stuff. So let's just go ahead and let's just dive in. We got that first bin. Okay, and I am going to be opening these on camera as we do this because that's just how I roll. So it'll be a good, I don't know, turn your sound down a little bit, I guess. All right, first up, we got Noistine Castle. Again, this is in no particular order. I am just grabbing and showing. I don't think I'm going to take them out of the hoops or frames that I have them in either. Otherwise, the video would be way too long. But Noistine Castle, or Disney Castle, is what I call it. This is on 18 count Ada. And this is my longest WIP. This is the project that I originally started, let's see. I started full cross and then converted it to half or 10 stitch. So that's as far as we've gotten so far. This is the 3rd page, so I'm almost done with the 3rd page. So the whole thing, I mean, this thing is going to be huge. It's really big. There we go. And then this is where I'm currently at. It's just right here, trying to fill in all of these colors. There's the first one. Number 1. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm in the 80s. I haven't counted in a really long time because I haven't stitched in what seems like ages. And I think I'm not going to put these away as I go. Otherwise, that's going to be too long of a video also. So we'll just chuck them to the side and continue. Alright, next up we have Mini Moon Charmer. Sorry, all of these are pretty wrinkled. I'm not very nice to my WIPs at all. But this is Mini Moon Charmer. Amy Stewart, Heaven and Earth Designs. Again, sorry, I'm not taking any of these out of the frame. I'm going to be super lazy today. But there's a little bit more over here, and I'm basically just working on the tree right here. This guy looks amazing. I think there's only 1 stitch that's not done, technically. It's like 1 stitch right there. But other than that, all of this is completed. So I was going to continue working down, but I decided to come back up here and start working back up at the sky. I was getting tired of doing black and like these dark blue colors. Last time I worked on it anyway. Next up we have the Epic Pokemon. Sorry for the glare. I'm trying to get it to not glare. There we go. And this one I did change the pattern a little bit. I decided to do a holographic Pokemon for all my favorite Pokemon. It seems to be working out okay. There are some things I need to clip on this thing. But, you know. There we go. So, Eevee, the Fire Eevee is one of my favorite Pokemon. So, I'll try and wiggle it so you can see the sparkly in her chest fur and in her hair. I don't know if you can see it very well. But I mean, I just kind of started this. Oh, I also changed the background. The background is actually a baby blue. I changed it to like a baby green. Or pastel green. I don't even remember what's in each bag anymore. It's been so long. Oh, this is my Lord of the Rings. This was a collaboration. The picture is terrible. I'll hold it from back here so you can see it a little bit better. But it's basically a bridge with all of the Hobbit characters walking over the bridge. But this is actually a symbol of the ring. And then down here is just like a bunch of scary stuff. Yeah, this is a stamp kit. 11 count. The printing wasn't the greatest on this. But not so awful that I couldn't work on it. So here's the whole thing. You can see I've gotten Gandalf done for the most part. So again, one thing about stamped kits is the further back you look at it, the better it looks. If you look at it up close, it's really hard to tell what exactly it is. But this is Gandalf right here. And then I'm starting to fill in a little bit of the hobbits down here. I'm doing this for my husband. Huge Lord of the Ring fan. I am too, but him more so than me. Alright, next up we have Harry Potter Castle. A Joy Sunday stamped kit. The only difference that this is 11 count Ada, and I'm going to be stitching in the sky in a different color. I don't like it being white. I want it to be like a night scene. I had just started this one actually. It took forever for me to get this. But the only thing I've done, I'll have to show you guys the back of the fabric so that way you can actually see what I've done. But I've only filled out this blue portion right here and a little bit right here. And a little bit of yellow, like the lights in the castle. So that's all I've done. There's not much done on this one. This was one of my first Joy Sundays, and it's really hard for me to, you know, use these symbols are different than the actual pattern itself. But a lot of people gave me suggestions on taking a picture of these on your phone and then just using that as a key instead of trying to convert the key in the actual pattern. So that seemed to be working out good, but for some of my other Joy Sundays, but I haven't tried it yet on this one. Although seeing this makes me want to work on it again. I'm sure that's going to be the case for a lot of these. I'm going to see them and be like, ooh, I have to work on that. Because I haven't stitched on anything in ages. Last up for this bin is, looks like I got the Eevees, Heaven Earth Designs. Super pretty pattern. My daughter picked out this pattern. She really likes them. She always wants me to work on it. I just never seem to work on it enough. And I don't know why, actually. I mean, it's a really pretty pattern. Probably because I just have too many to work on, and I say that for everything. This is stitched on 18 count Aida. I think this is a mini too. I think I got the mini version. Yeah, I got the mini version. So I started in the top middle. Got this ear almost completely done. This ear is done. And then I'm just working on the bangs and the face. Actually, I mean, just looking at this makes me want to work on it too. This is going to be awful. No, it's good. I'm doing this because I need motivation to work on things. Just the most comfortable position for me right now is laying down, not sitting. So it makes it really hard to be able to stitch anything because you can't stitch laying down. All right, that's it for the first spin. I'm going to pause, take a drink of water, and we'll get back to it. All right, we got our next spin. And first step of this one is this one, which is, I don't know, I call it my book fairy. I think the name is the actual name is pretty close to that, but I don't remember the actual name. It's been too long. But I am just starting on this wing right here, and I got some of the castle done. So let's take a look at it. This is stitched on 28 count, so I got 10 stitch. Most of the stuff, actually I'm pretty sure I've converted everything to 10 stitch because I'm very impatient. I love the process of stitching, but I also, if something isn't showing enough progress while I'm stitching it, sorry, fixing all the stitches. If it's not showing enough progress while stitching, then I get bored and I move on. But this one, oh, so pretty. You got the cloud face popping up. The castles are done. Just starting the wing and just finished up the horn. This is one of the only projects that I'm actually stitching diagonally. I think there's only a couple more that I'm stitching diagonally. One of my favorites. I absolutely love Nadia's artwork. So pretty. And the colors are super vibrant. And I absolutely love all the like greens and blues. Those are my favorite colors. So that's that. Next up we have a collaboration. Again, I'm not going to go over who I'm collabing with who. I have all these videos on my channel. This is Mermaid, Little Mermaid. Stamped kit 11 count. And I think I didn't get too far into this one yet. This again for my daughter. Oh, my needle's stuck. There we go. All right, so I did her face. I'm huge when it comes to stamp kits doing the face. That way, if it doesn't look good, I'll just move on and I won't even work on it. And then I started working on the boat and the fireworks that are up here. And again, because this is a stamped kit and I don't have too much done, I will turn it around. And I am by no means a neat stitcher, as you can tell by this face. I got strings everywhere and I don't really care. That's just how I roll. But there's the whole thing. Not gonna lie, it feels pretty good to record a video again. It's been a while, which is sad. I miss everybody. Talking to everybody. I've been talking to, some people via instant message on Instagram, but I miss everybody. All right, next up we have Alice in Wonderland. This was a collaboration. I absolutely love the silhouette patterns. Super cute. But again, I don't think I got very far on this one. I think I was working on the Cheshire Cat. Yep. Gosh, I'm good. Can't believe I remember that. All right, so here's the whole thing. Yeah. It's the whole thing. Lots of this. I think this is $9.39. And let me fold it back up and show you the Cheshire Cat. So I did change this pattern. On stamp kits, my #1 rule is always trust the pattern and do what the pattern says. That's what I did. I trusted the pattern. I filled it all in. But then once looking at it, I was like, I don't like it. And what I didn't like is, I think this eye, was, you couldn't see the pupil. So if you hold it back now, you can see 2 pupils in the eye. This one had no definite pupil. So what I did is I picked out 2 stitches and copied this pattern, this eye, with this eye to add the pupil because I couldn't see it and I didn't like that. So that's what I've done. Just a little bit of the Cheshire Cat. Here's the back. Nothing fancy. Oh, and if you're seeing these are just regular magnets that I get from the dollar store here in the States. $1 for a pack of 8. So you'll get 4 needle minders. I love these things. Work great. And if I don't have a bag for things, I stick my stamp kits in gallons of black bags. Next up we have, oh, I didn't get a picture with this one. I forgot. I'll hold it back though. This is like a little pattern that I got for the nursery for the baby. Just teddy bears, super cute. And again, didn't get very far. This one is actually, yeah, this is an 11 count too, right? Yeah, this is 11 count. So there's the whole pattern. Very vibrant, very nice to work on. But I've only gotten this much right here. Not very far, because I got this and started working on it. I think this was one of my last collaborations before starting to feel really sick, which I don't feel sick anymore, which is nice. I'm just uncomfortable sitting, like right now. It's kind of starting to hurt my back, but anyway, there's that. And again, not very much. Not very much done. Next up we have Watercolor Girl. That's what I call all of them. Disclaimer, all these Watercolor Girls were not on Heaven Art Designs when I collaborated with them with these patterns. I got some of them from AliExpress and some of them are collaborations, and none of them were on Heaven Art Designs. I couldn't find the pattern anywhere, but I noticed that the artist is starting to work with Heaven Art Designs to get some of these patterns on their website, so now some of them are on there, and I'm not going to stop doing them. I got them before, and that's just the way it goes. Now I know, you know, I like to support the artists, and I have purchased a couple of her patterns via Heaven Art Designs, so I have done that, but that's just the way it goes. So. Terrible picture, but that's what I got. And this is one of the patterns that was kind of a little bit hard to read in certain spots, but it seems to be working out okay. So here's the whole pattern. And I've done all of this right here. Started on the peony and did her main face. Happy with that, and now start working on her hair. And here's the back. See, traveling threads everywhere. All right, a couple more in this bag. We got another Hogwarts. This is a Hogwarts emblem. This was a collaboration. One of my favorite patterns. Hogwarts. Oh, I should probably show you the pattern, shouldn't I? Sorry. Here's the pattern. Love this one. Don't like that there's so much black. So I've actually chosen to omit all of the black around it, and I'm just doing the emblem around. So when I wash it, all this yellow isn't going to be here. So it's just going to be the actual emblem itself. But I've gotten pretty far on this one, and I do love it. I love all the colors and how vibrant everything is. This next pattern is one of my Dragon Dream Catchers. I got this for the Stitch for Ukraine. So I'll have to insert a picture of it right here. Because I don't have a picture printed anyway. But this is as far as I've gotten. And I don't know why I haven't stitched more on this. I just don't know. I think this is, I want to say 14 count Ada, I think. Very pretty though. Just haven't gotten very far. And last one for this tub, and then I'll pause and drink some water and stretch for a minute, is one of the patterns my husband got for me for my birthday. It's a Joy Sunday. I call it the Deer Chapel. I got a couple deer, church chapel, and a winter scenery. And this is 14 count stamped kit. Let's see how does it go. Yep, it goes like that. Okay, so really hard to see what I've done so far, but I have filled in some of the yellow of the Christmas tree right here, all of the sky, and some of the tree branches. So there's the back, so you can see. Done all this, and then some of the tree branches. Okay, that is it for this bin. So we're on to our third smaller bin. These bins that I'm working on, these ones right here, I have all by like my stitching spot on the couch when I am stitching, because these were all the main ones, like my main WIPs that I was working on before I stopped stitching, because I had like a rotation kind of thing. I would have a rotation until I got bored of that rotation and I'd switch it. Yeah. Oh, and I guess it is July. I did succeed in no purchases through January through July. That was my goal for this year. I did make one exception for the Stitch for Ukraine, because I wanted to help support some artists that live there. So I did make that one exception. But other than that, I have not made any purchases, even with all of the Heaven Earth Designs deals and like 50% off days that they've had. Even this last one, I didn't purchase anything. I couldn't really justify it if I'm not stitching right now. But anyway, so I did make it. So officially I could technically buy patterns. I know there's one, and it's the Grand Library that I want to get by Amy Stewart. It's a brand new one, and I've had my eye on that before Heaven Earth Designs released it. Once I found out that they were going to be working on it, that was on my list because it's one of my absolute favorite patterns of Amy Stewart's. So I will eventually get that one. Other than that, I don't really know. Maybe for Christmas or something when I'm like stitching again. But anyway, I'll go ahead and pause, take a drink, stretch, and we will continue with this video. Okay, we're back. So next bin, a quick little shout out to Dawn Marie. She sent this to me. I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, and I have several Pokemon patterns, and she made this bag for me with leftover fabric that she had, which is super sweet, and it's super well made and super nice, and it's all my favorite colors, and it's amazing. So I will be moving this next project into this bag. I just haven't got that far yet because I haven't been stitching or doing anything with cross stitching, but I plan on using this, so thank you so much, Dawn. This is amazing. Okay, this is a custom kit that I had created using Mian from AliExpress. And my kids are also huge into Pokemon, so I had this pattern created with all of the starter Pokemon minus Pikachu, obviously. This is my son's pattern. Unfortunately, it is huge. It's like a 50 by 70, I think, if I remember correctly. And I was working on Bulbasaur. So here's the whole pattern, wrinkly and everything. I know, I'm sorry. Again, I'm not gentle with my whips at all. But here is Bulbasaur. I absolutely love how he is turning out with the eyes and everything. Yeah, it's beautiful. Just a really big stitch. It's a huge, huge project. And again, I will be putting this project into the project bag. I think it's just perfect. It's a huge pattern, so I want it to be well protected. In a nice pretty bag. Alright, next up we have an Amy Stewart stitching shelf. Absolutely love this project. This project I actually stitch by season. So when it was spring, I was working on it, spring. I haven't worked any of the summer yet because, of course, I'm not stitching right now. I would like to start stitching, but I have done winter and spring. I just moved this back up to spring. I stitched a little bit before stopping stitching, so I'll show you where spring is at. So spring is right here. Kind of hard to see all the details. I don't think it's not fully stitched in yet. There are some missing stitches, but this is all of the cherry blossom confetti right here. And then the start of the, I don't think it's a book. No, it's the background behind the door right here. And then I did stitch all the way down, just a couple of stitches, so that way I can get to winter. Winter is down here. Ignore this. This is just an old project. But here's winter. So winter, one of my goals was to just try and get her face done. My first stitching lady. And I did get her face filled in. But again, it's cross country. And so there's so many missing stitches. I also decided to start doing this by season, like mid-season, midwinter. So I didn't get a ton done on it. Okay, next up we have a custom design that I got off of Mian AliExpress. This was a witch. Also very huge. It was one of those times where it's like, go big or go home kind of thing. So I haven't gotten very much done on it. As you can see, this thing is humongous. So this goes from my head to torso as far as size goes. But this one, last time I was stitching on it, I found out I stitched some of the wrong colors in here around this little fairy. I have since picked those stitches out. There's about 50 or so stitches that were the wrong color. So I fixed it. It's hard to see, but this is a fairy's face, her head, and her little like ears or wings on top of the witch's hat. So here's the witch's hat. Hard to tell, but I'm assuming it will start filling in a little better when I get some more colors around it. And then I also started working down here on her her skirt. So there's that. Next up we have another Stitch Free crane. This is Alice from Alice in Wonderland. And I haven't gone very far on her either. I did her hair. Oh, let me insert a picture right here. Sorry. Did her hair, started working on her dress and part of the flowers and the clock. That's as far as I've gotten. Stitch on 18 count Ada. Oh. Alright, just a couple more for this one, and then we're into the big bins that go underneath my bed. Okay, this is a collaboration, and it's my haunted house. And this one, haven't gotten too far on either. On camera, we did the Stitch with Me, and I finished the skull in the clouds right here. And then after that, I moved over to the corner and started working on the sky. Yeah, my stitches are really neat on this one. Oh, the back is really neat too. I'll show you the back. Look at that. Look how neat that is. That's totally not neat for me because as you can tell, the skull in the sky is like a mess. That's funny. Love this pattern. I think it's my only Halloween pattern that I have. Next up we have oldie but a goodie, classic. This is my cottage. I don't have a picture of it with me. So go ahead and insert a picture right here. And this is my cottage. This one I am going to go ahead and take off just part of it so you can see because this one is halfway done. So one of my favorite stamp kits that I've done. It is a Thomas Kincaid picture. And we got the sky, the cottage, bushes, the reflection of the water on the pebble path. And last time I left off, I was doing the sky right here and just filling all this in. So the black symbol, I obviously need to fill in. And I'll show you the back because I think the back is fun. Crazy messy, but again, I can care less. So there's the back. So I'm halfway done because here's the end right here. I mean, it's wrapped around, but the halfway point was right here. So now I'm a little over halfway. I should get this one out too. Really, I really like I love all my cross stitch patterns. Okay, that's it for that bin. So I'll go ahead and pause, drink some water, take a break, and get the really big bin out because I have two giant slide under the bed bins that I have cross stitch patterns in. So let's go ahead and pause and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So for anyone who was following me before, I took a small break, which I'll probably take another break after this just because I'm not stitching enough to show anything. I was doing a lot of collaborations. I had a lot of companies reach out to me and say, hey, we'll send you free charts if you want to review our charts and do a stitch with me. So a lot of these next ones in these bins are going to be collaborations. I also have a couple more bins over here with all of my, under my bed, with all of my counted cross stitch patterns, which were purchased. So right now I'm going to do all of these big bins, which are mostly stamped kits. And then last but not least, I'll do all of my, there's the awning. Sorry, it just is what it is. All my counted. So we'll do counted last. So we have a collaboration. I didn't get very far at all on this one. It's an old Victorian house with a little desk and typewriter and books and stuff. This was 11 count, and the stamping is good, but it is a tiny bit blurry, so it made it kind of hard to see. I didn't get very far in this at all, actually. So the only thing I did was this orange right here and this like turquoise. So I didn't get very far at all. I think I just did the stitch with me and that was it. So that's it. A line right there and a line right there. How sad. So there's that one. I think a lot of these are probably going to be like that, where I just did the stitch with me on camera and then kind of put them away, and they never made it to my full rotation before I took a hiatus. I will be doing more regular videos when I get my stitching book back. Honestly, I can't say if that's going to be now or if that's going to be after baby comes. Alright, there is that one. Next up we have one of my favorites. I haven't worked on it very much because I just recently got it, but we have Sleeping Beauty. One of my favorite Disney movies. I'm a huge Disney fan. Huge. Yeah, this is still so stiff. I didn't get very far. Yeah, just did whatever I did on camera. Basically, here's the whole pattern. Ta-da! And all I did is right here. That is it. And that's what happens when you do so many collaborations. You just don't have time to do very much of any of these. And I just have so many projects that there's not enough time in the world to do all of them. Ugh. Sorry, my nose itches. Next up, what is this one? Ooh, another Watercolor Girl. This one was gifted to me. And I didn't get very far on this one either. There's too many patterns that I haven't gotten very far on. I just started working here, the upper corner. Haven't even done her hand yet. Right here. Here's the whole pattern. And that's as far as I've gotten. It's just that. Next up we have one of my lions. My beta lion. I call it my beta lion because there's a beta fish on here. And I used to have a beta fish called Squishy. So this one, I think the last time I worked on it, I stopped as soon as I got the fish done. So here's the whole pattern. Very heavy on the confetti. And I stopped as soon as I got the fish. Here's the little beta fish. I haven't done the tail, but I did the head of the fish, and then I stopped. Love this pattern, just haven't worked on it. Again, I love all my patterns, so I have them. Just not enough time. Next up, I have my Paladin. I was stitching this with my mom. She doesn't have this one. She's working on another one. But we had chosen, like, we just had to stitch anything with a person. And this is what I chose. And I didn't get further than most things on here. Is the whole pattern. And of course I did her face first. I actually haven't finished her face. There are a couple stitches. But this is one of the patterns where I kind of learned my lesson about stamped kits. This is one of my, not one of my first, but like one of my older stamped kits. So this is where I taught myself to follow the pattern and trust the pattern. And then also step back. Because when I was stitching this, I was like, there can't be dark purple like in the cheeks, and there's like red and brown in her face. There's just, it's not right. That's not right. But it took trusting the pattern, filling in more of the pattern, and then stepping back to realize that, oh, that is her face. It is working, because I was looking at it from right here and it's like, oh, it's not working out. But the further you step back, the better it looks. And she's gorgeous. Totally forgot about this pattern. I like this pattern because you kind of got like the ice and the fire kind of thing. And it's just, yeah, she just looks like a badass. Excuse my language. Tells it how to see it. So there's that one. Next up we have a pink mermaid. I don't know. Did I start this one on camera? It's a recent collaboration. One of the last ones I got before stopping. I don't know if I even stitched on this one at all. Nope, I didn't. Well, here's the pattern anyway. Ta-da! But yeah, I didn't stitch on this one at all. Whoopsie, sorry. This bin has, I have all my cross stitch patterns in here, whether or not I started them or not, so that might happen again where I show one I haven't actually started. Alright, I did start this one though. This was a collaboration as well. It's a little stitching fox. Almost kind of like a sampler. I guess not really a sampler. A sampler normally has like ABC and stuff like that. Alright, this one I didn't get very far. I only stitched what was on camera, but it is nice and soft. I just stitched right here in her ear. That's it. But here's the whole pattern, and I think it'll be lovely. I would like to put this in my stitching corner when I'm done. But that's all I did. It's just right there. Thing. Okay. Next up, let's see, what have I started? This is my other cottage. I haven't started it yet because I want to finish my first cottage. Haven't done that one. Okay, this one I started. This one is my Watercolor Forest. And I don't think I got too far. Yeah, I didn't get too far in this. So here is the whole pattern. There's the needle. Here's the whole pattern. And then this is what I've gotten done. Not very much. Ah, everything's dropping. I have no room on my lap to hold anything. Sorry. This was a purchase from one of Mian's stores also. Mian on AliExpress has several different stores. I'd purchased like a ton of stamp kits for myself off of AliExpress when I first got into stitching, before I started getting like a bunch of collaborations and stuff. Okay, I am going to go ahead and pause here because there's a lot in this bin. Stretch and get some water, so I'll be right back. Alright, next up we have Warrior Girl. There she be in all her glory. And a fair bit done on her actually. Here's the whole thing. Did her face, part of her hair, and then started up in the background, the fire. She's very pretty. Alright, that I haven't done yet. This one I barely started. It's one of those things where it's a brand new project and you have to get a couple stitches in. It's just like what you have to do. I'm gonna keep it in a package. So this is one of my silk projects. It's just the ocean crashing on some rocks. This is a silk stamped kit. And didn't get very far, but I just had to, I couldn't not put in a couple stitches. So here's like what I've done. Woohoo! Like 70 stitches. That's it right there. Here's the whole thing. Okay, and one more in this one. And then I think what I'll do is after this project, I will go ahead and upload that video, and then we'll do like a WIP Parade part 2, because I'm getting tired. I'm sitting here in this uncomfortable chair. And I still have a whole nother big bin and then all of my counted cross stitch. So yeah, I think we'll do a 2-part WIP Parade because I'm getting tired. I don't really have a good, oh yes I do. Here's the picture for her. This is another watercolor girl. I call her my Pomegranate Girl. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip everyone off. There you go. Very pretty pattern. I believe this was a collaboration as well. And last time I was working on her, I was working on her face, I think. That or the background, I'm not quite sure. But we started working on her face. Her face is mostly done right here. I started working on her hair. I got some hanging threads here, and then I started up here on the background. So here's the whole pattern. A fairly small pattern, but this one is beautiful. I've seen other people stitch this one. It's very pretty. I'm just a sucker for watercolor girls too. All right, that is going to be it. We will make a part 2 whenever I get a chance. I will film it, maybe tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, feels kind of good. I got one project out that I think I'm gonna stitch Evie, I think. I'm gonna attempt to stitch Evie. Let's just say that. Because looking at all these projects, I want to stitch everything, but again, I'm not very comfortable stitching lately, and I'm trying to get my stitching bug back because I love to stitch. But yeah, that is that. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. There will be a WIP Parade Part 2, and in case anyone wants to see, because I know some people are interested, and to hear, I'm doing well. No morning sickness anymore, just normal aches and pains for pregnancy. Everything looks good. We are having a boy. We just found out a couple days ago. So yeah, that'll be exciting. And in case anyone wants to see, here, oh, I gotta scoot back here. Here is the bump. So this is almost 22 weeks pregnant. And it's huge. Yeah. So everything's going good so far. Almost 22 weeks pregnant. Attempting to get my stitching bug back. Continue to send me messages, comments. Keep showing me all of your guys' projects on Instagram. Uploading floss tube videos because I absolutely love following everybody. And between all of that, we will eventually get my stitching bug back. So I will see you guys for video number 2. Take care. Bye.